I've been on a very fun, interesting, and educational fitness workout slash gym journey. I'm grateful that I started pretty young, and I've made plenty of mistakes. I've done some things right, and just overall, I got to learn and just experiment with a lot of things. But over the time of me working out, I've actually come to develop a workout routine that's kind of bad. Well, it's bad if you ask certain like science lifters or certain people that are just following certain studies or even just in the general gym culture. But despite it not being quote unquote correct, according to a lot of people and a lot of ideologies, it's given me the best results I've ever gotten. And it's given other people the best results they've ever gotten. And it really simplifies things. And I think it gives a better base, true understanding of what exercise is. And today I'm going to talk about my story a little bit from the beginning and how it's evolved to my current way of working out that I do think will give you guys better results if you want to try it out. Well, the true beginning of my gym journey was really my 8th grade winter, in the middle of my 8th grade year. I did workouts at my school in the morning, like, because I did sports. And so it was mostly about sports, like, getting stronger for basketball or whatever sport other people did. But it was mostly like, it was like the gym teacher and the coaches that would run it in the morning. That was my, I guess, true beginning. I don't really count it though, because I was so inconsistent. I really was super inconsistent. I went a good amount of the time for a short period of time, but they were at 5:30 in the morning. I was super tired. I didn't really enjoy them. I just kind of went because some of my friends wanted to. So I don't really count it, but I guess truly the first time I ever lifted was my tired school morning workouts. And that brings me to what I would consider the beginning of my journey, which was after my freshman year of high school. So a couple years went by, but the summer after my freshman year of high school is when I truly went all in on the gym. I loved it. It's my first time I got an actual gym membership. I went to the Planet Fitness near me, and I couldn't be happier. I was so excited. I felt so proud that I was actually doing it and loved it. But my workouts looked quite different back then as they do now. I worked out a bare minimum of 6 days a week. Most of the time I just did 7 because I just enjoyed it. But I was going every single day. Now there's a common theme with most of my workout programming in the earlier parts of my lifting career, workout career, whatever you want to call it, is that I watched a lot of social media. And so I got all my ideas and ideologies and methods and exercises and splits from social media. Now, somebody that wasn't very confident with what I was actually doing at the time, I looked at, this guy looks big. He looks strong. He looks like a guy men should follow. Let me do what program he's on. Then, like a week later, I find another guy that, maybe he's even better. Oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? There's a lot of back and forth. So I didn't actually follow one specific split, but it was very high frequency, very high volume, a lot of isolation. I broke down my days into body parts. Like I had a shoulder day, just shoulders, leg day, which we didn't really hit back then, but chest day. I actually didn't hit arms, but I had a bunch of very high frequency, high volume days because I was doing only like one body part a day. I enjoyed it because I was new and because it was new to me. It was fresh. And I did enjoy going to the gym. I really liked it and I thought it was fun. Very quickly did I feel like I needed to deload because I was working out, like I said, every single day. Not to mention, I was riding my bike to the gym, which was a hard 2.5 mile ride each way. So not that far in, I was like, man, these lifts aren't feeling the same anymore. I'm tired. I need to. When I first learned what a deload was, is when this happened. I was like, oh gosh, maybe I need one of those. But unfortunately, that was just the pattern that continued until the end of the summer. Now, if you guys don't know, Planet Fitness usually does, at least in this area, it will do free for high school students during the summer. Now, I didn't have an income. I wasn't making a lot of money. So when the summer ended and I was back at school my 10th grade year, I was like, okay, I don't really want to pay for it. Like, I'm sure maybe my parents will pay for it. It's very cheap. But it's like, I'm already at school and I'll just go back to my school gym. And unfortunately, the same pattern continued. I didn't know what I was actually doing. I didn't have an actual understanding. I understood that, okay, a lot of big guys are doing like 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps and they're doing these certain exercises. I didn't actually have a base understanding though. I was just copying and pasting. I didn't understand what is exercise, what yields results, what's actually important to this. And this all came to one day. My 10th grade year is about the winter time, so about the middle, roughly the middle of my 10th grade year. I was in the weight room, I was hitting a workout, and I was just like, man, I'm just like not satisfied with how this workout feels. Like, it's not fun. I don't feel like the results I'm getting are as good as, like, for some reason, my results, probably because I was new, blew up in the summer. I had those newbie gains. But then it really slowed down a lot when I went back to my school gym. And I remember one day I was like, all right, I gotta try to find something. Like, in the gym, I was scrolling, trying to find, like, I don't know, workout stuff. And I remember coming across a video that put me to great shame. Made me lose a lot of hope. The video I saw was a video that was preaching that the amount of volume that I was already doing, which was pretty high, wasn't even enough. It's like, no, if you want to really grow, you got to do even more. And I was defeated. I was completely defeated. I'm like, I'm already spending an hour and a half in the gym. Already tired. Already feel like I need another deload. And now I'm watching guys that are telling me I'm not even doing enough. I'm not doing enough volume. I have to do more volume, more time, more exercises, more variety, more complexity, more of a reason to not do this anymore. For a couple of days, I tried this new methodology of even more volume and trying a couple of different splits again, because I changed very frequently. And I said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I'm going to have to just go back to what I was doing. And so I went back, truly thinking, I'm like, wow, I'm really sacrificing, like, myself, my gains. And just like, I felt like a quitter. It's like, I'm not willing to do this. Like, I'm giving up. I don't want to do more. And I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to do more. I finished my 10th grade year a little sorry with my workouts. As the end of the year was coming, my workouts were still sorry, but I was actually starting to see a little more progress again. I do believe this was just because I was getting older, though. I don't think that my workouts were really coming into much play. I wasn't putting a lot of energy, a lot of soul into my workouts at all, and they were feeling pretty flat. One of the only things that kept me going is that despite a lot of my struggles, which were genuine, mostly just mentally not enjoying it, I had a really good bench for my age. I actually hit 225 at the end of my 10th grade year, and this pretty much solely was still getting me the energy because everything else felt bad. I genuinely don't think I could squat 225. Like, at this point, I was benching more than I could squat, and I couldn't even deadlift 225. But the bench was just the one thing I could really do well. It's just like genetics. I've always had a stronger chest and upper body just right out of the gate. So this gave me a little juice to keep going. But then my 10th grade year was done. I was going into my junior year after the summer. It was summertime. I was like, do I want to go back to Planet Fitness? I already racked 2 years in there. I already put some time in there. I was familiar with it, but I was like, no. I heard of this new smaller gym near me that had better equipment. It was not the size of Planet Fitness. It didn't have the amount of like cardio machines and treadmills and ellipticals, but it had free weights. It had better machines, and it was just more focused for people that are actually interested in weightlifting as opposed to Planet Fitness being for more just like wellness. This was a big transition for me. This was the second gym ever I've ever gone to. And while I was there for the first 2 weeks, I was just so happy that I was able to actually bench again over the summer, because I would have to wait to go back to school during the school year to do it, because our weight room in the school had the free weights, but Planet Fitness didn't. And so for a couple of weeks, I was like just doing like bench press, just like probably not a lot of squatting, but I tried some deadlifting and all that because I didn't have access to that. And a couple weeks after that, after the honeymoon phase was over, being at a new gym and it's so cool and everything's amazing, it was a good gym, but it's no longer have that newness to it. I came across a man named Mike Mentzer. Talk about a complete 180 from what I was doing. High volume, high frequency, complexity, more this, more that. Oh, you actually need to do even more than that if you want to grow. When I came across Mike Mentzer, let me tell you, I was quite happy to hear just the idea that potentially I would be able to grow and maybe even grow better doing one set. If you don't know who Mike Mentzer is, he's an old school bodybuilder that had a very controversial methodology of training, which was training to failure, training with very good intensity, but only doing one set per exercise. And remind you, I was Mr. Deload, where I felt like constantly I needed to scale back my training, well, because I did. So yeah, like I said, when I heard that there's even a potential, there was somebody out in the universe that thought that I could get good gains with only doing one set. So I was like, you know what? Why not send it? I don't really like how my workouts are anyway. I started working out 5 days a week. I scaled back. I stopped working out every single day. And I even stopped working out 6 days a week. Gave myself 2 rest days, which isn't actually following his program exactly. But I did one set per exercise, and I made far better gains than when I was doing my high volume program that was preached by more people than not. This was the beginning of my understanding. I no longer follow this exact workout program, but when I did this, I did it, and then I introduced my friends to it, and it's like, holy crap, dude, this is way better. We're getting way stronger. We're getting bigger. Our results are better. It's more time efficient, and frankly, it's more fun. But it gave me the understanding. What is exercise? When I was able to do 4 times less volume and get better results, I was like, okay, pumping iron just for the sake of it, getting a good pump, volume, this can't be what exercise is, at least for the gym, getting stronger and getting bigger. What it is a stimulus. That's what weight training and exercise is. And what this taught me is that it's about the quality of the stimulus, not the quantity. Now, fast forward a year, I did Mike Mentzer for a year. And like I said, my results were far, far better than when I was doing a very high volume, high frequency program. I didn't need a single deload. I felt good. I felt strong. Then towards my senior year coming up, I did get influenced by seeing people. I'm like, oh, maybe I should up the volume a little bit. And just to sum it up, I bounced back and forth a little bit, pretty much until the end of my senior year. Now I'm no longer in high school. But this is when the real change happened. And this is the main point I want to convey in this video, is I stopped looking at my body like the fitness world, like the workout culture, the gym culture. I stopped trying to be a gym bro. I wanted to focus on my health, one, good sleep, quality food, not just trying to protein max with different shakes and powders and supplements and crap like protein snacks, like protein cookies or whatever. I focused on my health. And then from the actual working out perspective, I no longer looked at my body as like a gym bro. Like I didn't look at it from the gym culture perspective. I actually looked and thought about nature. How does everything grow? It gets a stimulus. And thankfully, although I don't follow this program anymore, doing the Mike Mentzer really taught me that, and I got to experience that. Quality stimulus. But the other main missing piece was that things actually only grow, yes, after a stimulus, but when it rests. Resting is how you get better results, hands down. But that's not what the papers necessarily say. It's not what all the research says. There's a lot of research that say 40 sets or more per muscle group per week can be ideal, and probably is ideal. But I stopped looking at it from this narrow perspective. I simplified it. I forgot about the gym culture. I focused on my health. And then I focused on, in the gym, I'm going to get a good stimulus. And then I'm going to actually let myself recover. And now I have more rest days than I do training days. And guess what? My results got even better. My energy went up. I don't feel sluggish. And guess what? When I go to the gym, I can't wait to go. I literally can't wait. I thought it was going to be such a sacrifice, being like, oh, I love the gym. How am I only going to go like 3 times a week? But when I really tried it, I realized it actually enhances it. It's like, no, I'm looking forward to this. My nervous system isn't burnt from this. I wanted to tell my story of how I personally got here. But the main point I'm trying to convey is that if you want to get the best results, be the healthiest person you can, and enjoy the gym more, stop overcomplicating it. Don't be 9th grade and 10th grade me, volume maxing, trying to find, but maybe I need another split. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's that guy on TikTok that will save me. It's none of that. Frankly, forget about the gym culture. Use your intuition more. Does it feel good to train 7 days a week? No. Does it feel necessary to be deeply, horribly sore the next day? No. Does anything else in the literal world grow by constantly being stimulated? No. There's no perfect exercises for anybody, because depending on what your goals are and where you're at now and what you just want and what you enjoy, I can't give you a list of very specific exercises to follow unless I knew what you actually wanted. But if you can take the principle of, train hard and train with good form, that's about the quality stimulus. You don't need quantity. You need quality. And then truly, truly rest. Rest more than you train. Use your intuition. And don't get lost in the gym culture. The research is always going to change. There's always going to be another paper. I promise you, it's never going to stop. If you guys are interested in becoming your most physically vital, healthy person you can be, and you want to gain your mental clarity, really escaping the modern norms, if you want to work with me one-on-one, I'll leave a link in the description to a video describing my coaching, a booking page if you want to book a call, and my Instagram if you want to DM me. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed telling my story and how my failures have helped me along the way and just what I learned from it at least. Have an absolutely blessed day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.